This meeting is being recorded.
Welcome, everybody. We'll take just a minute before we get started. Give everyone a minute to sign in. Hi, everybody. All right. Well, we'll go ahead and get started. My name is Riley. I'm an educator at Hawk Mountain Sanctuary, and welcome to Hawk Mountain Sanctuary Storytime. Today's program is going to be all about the story Willa Gets Her Friendship Bands. And we're so happy that you're here. And if you're happy too, can everybody shake their tail feathers? Woohoo! At Hawk Mountain, we love nature, we love the birds, we love raptors, and we love all wildlife. We love the plants and animals, the earth and the sky, because all living things are connected. Do you love nature too? Before we get started today, I wanted to introduce all of you to a very special guest. It is a pleasure to introduce the author and illustrator of the book that we're reading today, Lydia Thompson. Hi, Lydia.
Hi, everybody. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, we're so happy to have you. So, while I have you here, Lydia, I'd love to ask you a couple questions about the book before we read it. So,
Sure.
first, I wanted to ask if you could tell us a little bit more about why you wrote the story and what inspired you.
Well, the Wilson's Plover itself, themselves inspired me. Years and years ago, I would go to the south end of Jekyll Island, which is a barrier island off the coast of Georgia. And these little guys were out there nesting, and I just fell in love with them. Now, people love the beach and could go to the beach, but these little guys always sort of disappeared. And so, how do I connect people to these wonderful little guys, but by a story? And that's part of it.
Awesome. All right. So, my next question for you is what was your favorite part about creating the book? Like, what was your favorite part of the process?
Oh, I think the illustrations were. I'm a drawer, illustrator, printmaker. Um, I do work with the scientists. I have worked with Abby Sterling of Manamet, and I've worked with Ben Carswell and Yankmore of the Jekyll Island Authority, who actually were banding these birds, and I was inspired by them. And I just think that drawing and science goes together because it reinforces what you are doing out there.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. All right. And last but not least, my last question for you is for anyone who's watching that's really excited about birds, maybe learning more about birds, do you have any advice or tips for them to get involved?
Uh, I really think by joining a group who have similar interests, getting out there, there are youth groups. I noticed on the Hawk Mountain website, y'all do have a youth group. Also, this introduces you maybe to people who are banding, doing the science work, and it gives you an opportunity to expand uh, what you might think of as a career later in life. Enjoy your life, but also I think picking up a notebook and drawing. One of my mentors said so long ago, who cares what it looks like? You can always tear it up. But to draw that first line, uh, it reinforces what you're looking at. I call it tactile learning.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it's a good way to reinforce. And that's what I liked about it. I also, there's a little picture in the book of the scientist or biologist walking up, and I couldn't figure out how to do that. And so I went out and drew my boots with the little birds. And you'll see that as you read the story.
I love it. Very cool. That's wonderful advice. And Lydia, thank you so much for joining us today, answering some of my questions. we're going to go and read your wonderful story. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Let's see here. I will. All right. Okay, everybody, we'll go ahead and get started reading our story today. Willa gets her friendship bands. Afterwards, I'll talk to you a little bit more about the bird that we're learning about in the story today. That's the Wilson's plover. And then I am going to end it with an easy craft that you can make at home. We're going to be making our own friendship bands. And all you need for that is a piece of string, can be stretchy, whatever string you can find, some beads, and a pair of scissors with parental supervision. So very easy to make. Okay. This is also just a friendly reminder that this is being recorded and it will go up on our YouTube channel in a few days. So if you'd like to watch it back again or send it to a friend, you can do that once it's on our YouTube channel. And also, if you have any questions throughout the program, there's a Q&A option at the very bottom of the screen and you can submit your questions. So let's go ahead and get into the story. All righty. The first page begins, "Oh, hi there. There's so much to learn. I'm running all around, but I'm getting ahead of my story. Turn the page and let's get started." My name is Willa. I'm a Wilson's plover. See my friendship bands? Aren't they pretty? Here's the tale of how I got them and how they will help me on my many adventures. And there's Willa. Let's see what adventure she gets into. My story begins with my mama and daddy. They met on the beach. Daddy loves to dance and sing. Mama thought he was wonderful. They looked for a place to build a nest in the dunes near the beach. They found a patch of panic grass that would do nicely. This dune grass swirled over the top of them like a tent. It was perfect for hiding their precious eggs. That looks like a wonderful spot with lots of camouflage to protect their eggs. Mama and Daddy took turns sitting on the eggs. Still, things can happen in the blink of an eye. Let's see what happens. One night, Daddy had to make a quick run to the beach. "I'll be just a minute," he said. Just then, an opossum walked over the dunes and spotted our precious nest unguarded. "Oh, there's a nice meal," he headed for our nest. We were shaking in our shells. "Help," we chirped. "Help, Mama, Daddy." Our parents saw the opossum. Daddy ran back and covered us with his feathers. Mama rushed over to the opossum and shouted, "Those are my babies. Leave them alone. Go on, go away. Shoo." Startled, the opossum said, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't know they were your babies." We were safe with Mama and Daddy watching over us. We grew and grew. It began to get crowded in my little egg. I did a little stretch and the tip of my beak tapped the shell and it cracked. I tapped it again and it cracked a little more. I saw light. I blinked. It was so bright. It felt a little better. I could stretch and stretch. So you can see the Wilson's plover in their egg, they're getting bigger and bigger. And it's really cool because Wilson's plover, they will actually hatch out of their shell like ready to eat food. They have all of their feathers on. Mama was right there beside me. My brother and my sister were tapping at their own shells. My legs and feet were a little wobbly. It was going to take a few hours before I could get to my feet. But before my sister, my brother, and I could start to run, two wildlife biologists walked up. I wonder what will happen with the biologists. Let's see. Mama did her broken wing act. Dad whistled, "Hey, follow me." The biologists didn't look at Mama and Daddy. They were busy tenderly picking us up. They spoke quietly. "We'll just be a few minutes. We want to put some special bands on them so they will know your babies when they are on the beach. We promise to bring them right back here." Taking a metal tool and my special friendship bands, the biologist said, "Don't worry, this is as easy as 1, 2, 3. 1, I will open the plastic colored band. 2, I slip the band on your leg. And 3, I close it." So those are the steps of putting on their friendship bands. Then it can help to tell them apart. They took out a worn field notebook and wrote down the way the color bands went on my legs. Later, they posted these notes to the Wilson's Plover working group. So you can see the notes in their notebook say, left leg, light blue, right leg, light blue over orange. So they kind of use colors in different combinations to tell the birds apart with their bands. See my pretty friendship bands. I love that picture. So sweet. The biologists took us back to the nest. They carefully put us down. And you can tell just by how big these hands are, how tiny they are when they're first born. Mama ran up to us. We were safe with Mama and Daddy. Mama said, "Let's see, what will I call you? My precious little girl, your name is Alice. You have a green friendship band. My baby boy, I will call you Yank. Your friendship band is blue. And last but not least, my brave one, I name you Willa. Your friendship band is orange." Mama and Daddy began our lessons on how to survive on the beach. They told us to always be aware of where we are and look for places to run so we can be safe. They also taught us to listen for a call. When we heard that "weet" sound, we ran to the nearest hiding place like the rack or a bush. I'm not as good as sounding like a Wilson's Plover like the real thing. I will play a clip for you guys later to hear what the Wilson's Plover sounds like. One day, we were out learning how to find yummy crabs and worms when... Let's see what happens. A big dog came loping on the beach. He saw us and raced towards us. We knew the drill. We ran for the dunes. While Daddy and Mama flew in different directions, the dog followed them. We were scared. We ran, and ran. Alice and Yank hid in the rack, and I hid in a bush. So rack is kind of like dried up material that kind of washes up on the edge of the water. And that's where they were hiding. Click, 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 click. A ghost crab skittered over the sand, snapping his claws. I turned to run back to the beach, but the ghost crab slipped to the side and blocked me. Oh boy, there's a tasty snack, the crab cackled. You cannot run for me, I am too fast. And usually the Wilson's plover likes eating smaller crabs, but that would be a bigger crab for sure. Suddenly, my daddy was there. He stood tall. Oh, no, you don't. That's my baby, he yelled and flew at the crab. The crab sank to the sand and scurried away. So their dad saved the day. After that, we stayed very close to Mama and Daddy. We grew and grew. Sometimes I stretched my stubby wings. I wish I had pretty long wings and could fly like Mama and Daddy. But before I knew it, I had long, pretty wings. I ran down the beach, flapping my wings. Lo and behold, I began to fly. At first, it was only for a short distance. Okay, so it was only a little ways down the beach, but I was flying. Dad took us to a big flock of birds. He introduced me to the black skimmers and royal terns. They were sanderlings. They had just arrived from their summer home in the Arctic. My brother, sister, and I would sit in this large flock of friends and neighbors. Sometimes I would not see Yank or Alice, but that was all right, for I had my friends to hang out with on this beach. And if you've ever been to the beach before, you might have seen a bunch of different types of shorebirds like this. And maybe they are hanging out in big groups. One day, after I finished my lunch, I decided to hang out with my friends and take a nap. Alice woke me. Be careful, she whispered. A group of people are coming down the beach towards us. It was a group of young birders with big scopes and binoculars. Hey, look at that big flock of birds, Linda said as she took some pictures. Knox spotted me. I found a Wilson's plover, Scott chimed in. Hey, it has color bands. The left leg has a light blue band over a band of yellow and red. The right leg has a light blue over orange. Let's turn this into eBird and see what we can find out about this plover. So the friendship bands help the people who love bird watching to learn more about these birds. That's amazing. They were talking about my pretty bands. I'm proud of my friendship bands. Now the birders will know me and they can follow me on my adventures. Now that is an awesome story. Thank you guys so much for joining us for the story. While I have you here, I'm going to open up just a couple pictures of Wilson's plover to show you what they look like and give you some extra fun facts as well. So here is the Wilson's plover. You can see the mom and baby right there. And here's some fun facts about the Wilson's plover. They are named after the scientist Alexander Wilson that found them for the first time back in the early 1800s in Cape May, New Jersey. And you can see the picture. Those are those little tiny crabs they love to eat. They love to eat things under the ground like worms or little tiny crustaceans. And these birds, you can kind of see what they look like throughout different parts of their life and different times of the year. And they actually live down the East Coast from Maryland to Florida, or in the Gulf Coast down from Florida around to Texas. And then in the winter, they'll head a little bit further south, sometimes even down through Mexico, all the way to Brazil. Also, Wilson's plover, and you kind of heard them mention it in the book, the mom pretended to have a hurt wing to distract the biologists. They will pretend that they're hurt to distract predators. So if a bird is hurt or has a broken wing or is sick, the predators will get distracted or go away. So it helps them to stay safe. And you can see the little baby, and those are some close-up friendship bands. So you can see what they look like. And also, did you know a group of plovers is called a wing of plovers? I've also heard the term a congregation of plovers. There's a few different words that you can use to call a group of plovers. And now I'm going to play this clip for you to show you what they sound like. All right, hopefully you can hear this. All right, and there you have it. So that's a little bit more information about the Wilson's plover. You could see them up close in those pictures. So glad you got to check that out. And last but not least today for our program, I wanted to show you how you can make your own friendship band. So just like how the birds have different friendship bands and they had different color combinations to be able to tell the birds apart, you could make your own too. So I have mine here, and I had a bunch of different color beads. And pretty much all you do is you find a string of choice, whatever you can find around the house. And I double knot one side like this. So there's a little knot. I add the beads, and then you measure it around your wrist to make sure it fits you correctly, just like how they fitted the bands onto the baby plovers. And then when you're all done, you can tie one knot all together. And if you were to make this with friends or people in your family, everyone would have different colors that are unique to them. And those are their friendship bands. So definitely make one of these at home if you have any beads or string lying around, and you and your friends and family can have different friendship bands to tell each other apart. So that is all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for joining us. I wanted to let you guys know, if you have any young ones and you live locally, the first Wednesday of every month at Hawk Mountain, we do a Wee Ones Walk for children 3 to 5. And we also have our summer camp. Registration is open already if you have students entering 1st through 6th grade. So definitely check that out just on hawkmountain.org on our website. And I wanted to thank you guys so much for joining us. Have a great day, and we hope to see you on the mountain soon. Thanks. Bye.